Graham, I guess, as ever, we'll start with your reflections on what was a difficult day at Harrogate last time out.
Yeah, I think it was a bad result. We similar to what I said after the game, really. Conceded a poor goal from our perspective. We did things that we don't usually do, and put ourselves under pressure. And then we can't, we miss a fantastic chance to equalise in the game and sort of give ourselves a confidence boost, but we don't take it. Second half, they get the penalty, which it was a penalty in the laws of the game, but it's pretty harsh. I don't think anyone made a particular mistake. It's the ball's just hit his hand, and then it was a difficult afternoon from then on. And but we're still breathing, so we'll still fight.
How do you go about then, you and Chris as a management team, just picking the players up and reinstilling a bit of confidence? And
well, look, we're not magicians, so we can't ignore the 4-game losing streak that we've just experienced. So it's no point in them trying to push things under the carpet and stuff. But I do believe in putting the past in the past and dealing with the future. So that's what we did the first day back. We made sure everyone was breathing, so that was a good start to the day. And when they were, we cracked on with our work.
Number of players in the squad who are out of contract in the summer. Is it fair to say that they're playing not just for points for this season, but for their futures at the club?
I think everyone's always playing for your future in professional football. If you think, you can sign a 3-year contract and then think, right, I'll just play crap for a year, and you'll still have a future. It doesn't happen. Football's an incredibly competitive sport, so I wouldn't like to think, and I don't think we do have professionals that think they can put a cushion on their backside and cruise through. We haven't covered ourselves in glory in the last 4 games, but I haven't seen a team that is not willing to work hard, not willing to train hard, and have that honesty about them. I haven't seen that. I don't see it. I believe I've got to know the lads over the last 4 months or so since I come in, and we're just a team that's constantly been chasing chasing something in front of us which we never really got to, and when we've had a chance to maybe touch it and get there, we've just took a step back, and I think it's chipped away at our confidence, and that's how it is. I don't try to make it up into anything bigger than what I think it is, but also don't try and pretend I'm not seeing what I'm seeing. So our objective is to try and instill and create a team that still wants to play for the right reasons, whether it's for your future or not, but just for your personal pride, that you go on at the end of the day and go, well, I give my best today. That, for me, if you stick to that mantra, will get you through a lot of things throughout the course of your career. So I wouldn't go big on their playing for their futures and stuff. I would say play to go home on Friday night and think I did a good job for my team today.
Lots of football to be played between now and the end of the season. Yeah. So for you, in terms of a focus, is it difficult not to have one eye on the summer and forward thinking?
No, look, when you're a manager, you're constantly doing that anyway. It's like going into the January window. You don't just get up January 1st and go, oh, right, the window's open, what are we doing? You're planning for it for like 6 to 8 weeks or so. So you can't see doing one part of the job, looking after another part of the job, but I have people that help me do that as well. And that's always been the case. So even if we'd won our last 4 games, we're still planning ahead and trying to look into the future, but we'll only deal with that when we can. But if you don't plan and prepare, then it's going to be too much work at the last minute, and that's not how we do things. So we want to be organised, we want to plan, but we can't take our eye off on the ball that we've got games that we want to win. There's no way I'm just, right, that's it, shutting up shop and just thinking, right, let's try and get to the end of the season and survive. We've still got a lot to play for, I believe. Yeah. It might not be what we were playing for a month ago, but we've still got a lot to play for.
And what are those, if that remit of what it is you're playing for has changed, what is that now, Graham, in your view?
What we're playing for?
Yeah.
Just what I said, about feeling good about ourselves, about actually repaying the faith that people showing you, about your upbringing, about your parents, how they brought you up as a person, all those sort of things, which I think underpin everything. I think they're football, life, challenges come all the time. It's not always rosy, but if you have good character, good habits, good discipline, then they get you through it. And they get you through it in a way where you don't drop off a cliff, and then you're ready to win and be successful. And that's how I see it. So I don't know if I'm different from other people or not, but whether there's 3 points on the table, whether it's a coffee and a cake between your mate, whether you're playing your wife at a board game, you want to win. You want to win. You want to compete. You want to feel good about yourself, and I think winning helps you do that. And if it's not winning, it's doing your best. Yeah. I think that's the second part of it. So that's what we have to do. I don't like the fluctuation of people's motivation. Yeah. You know, they're motivated this week because of this, or they're not motivated because of that. I don't believe that survives if you want to be successful in any walk of life. I think you have to be motivated every single day that you wake up, and understand how we are doing something that we fought hard to do all our lives. And just because it's not going great for us right now, does that mean you don't want to do what you've wanted to do all your life? It doesn't change for me. Every day I wake up, I want to come to work and be involved with a football team, be around football players and be around staff and enjoy my job and be good at my job. But also I'm a realist that I know sometimes we don't look good at our job.
A lot of discontent in some sections of the support base, as I'm sure you're aware, not particularly in the team, but those above the team, talks of a planned protest on Friday. Graham, how easy or difficult is it to block out that noise from the outside?
Well, I wasn't aware of it until yesterday, but I'm quite lucky I'm not on any social media or anything like that, so I try to focus on things closer to me or things I can handle or control or influence. I don't really know, to be honest, because off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever been involved when something like that has come along. I think there's been opportunities or talk of it happening previous. So it doesn't change my job, as in like what I'm going to do every day. It doesn't change my messaging to the players, our motivation to play well. I think Britain has a brilliant tradition of free speech and allowing people to air their views, air their concerns, and that's what's brilliant about this country. So I'm the last person to say people shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. It's a free country, and people have a much longer history with Bradford City than I do. Yeah. So they have different emotions, they have different recollections and more knowledge of what makes them feel, how they're feeling. So I can only deal with what, since I've been here, which is 4 or 5 months, the future, which is the most important thing for me, and go with that. But it's not. I don't really know if I have to deal with it, to be honest, because it's not outside my house, it's outside my workplace. But listen, I've got a job to do, and I really need to concentrate on that rather than get veered off that course and deal with other things. It's I can understand why people are upset. It's football, it's life. I get it, but I don't know how much, apart from creating a winning team, I can do to help that. So what I'll try to do is create a winning team to do my bit to help people feel better, and hopefully that'll be enough. Team
news-wise, the game on Friday, how's Alex Gilliard getting on?
He won't be available. He's doing his rehab, so he'll be another week or so. Unfortunately, we've got a couple of the boys that are having scans at the minute from things they picked up at the weekend. So we'll wait to see maybe Thursday to see who we have fully fit. But unfortunately, there's a couple of the issues that we have with players, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a just waiting down to see who we have on Thursday to really plan for the game. But we'll still have a team, I feel, that can win the game, and that's the most important thing for me. It's not about the players missing, it's about the players that we have.
Who are those additional doubts?
I'd prefer not to say right now, because you might see on Friday, you know what I mean? But look, it's one of them where there's there's always niggles in squads and stuff like that, but there's a couple that have come on from the last game, unfortunately, and it's not players that usually pick up niggles, so we just make sure we do the right things.
I guess one of the positives on Saturday was Bobby getting back on the pitch, Noah making his debut. Just in terms of those as the younger players, how impressed have you been with them stepping up into the squad? I know Bobby's had minutes this season, but Noah especially, who came on Saturday.
Yeah, I think it's important for football clubs to create a pathway, or there to be a clear pathway for players to come through if they're good enough, if they take those opportunities. I think obviously Bobby had his opportunity before I came here. Noah's earned it since I've been here. I just see them, how they train, how they go about their business, the competition they're up against, and when opportunity comes and it knocks, it's up to them to take it. So what they have to learn, and I think they are good learners, is how you train, how you prepare, all those sort of things allow you to be ready for whenever that opportunity comes, because you can never tell when it's going to come along. And there it goes, it's for you. And I think Noah, especially coming on to make his debut, did exactly what I hoped he would. He showed a composure, he's comfortable on the ball. Just want him to believe more in himself, that he belongs here, and he's not just a bit part. But that will take time, and more exposure to the first team. So I think he's a player that if he keeps his head down, keeps working hard, then he could have a good career.
Tranmere Rovers and Nigel Adkins, he's got a bit of a tune out of them. They've moved away from that relegation zone. Have you come across Nigel before?
Yeah. I've met Nigel a couple of times and played against him. I think when I was at Scunthorpe, he was at Sheffield United. So good guy and a really experienced manager with a lot of success under his belt from his previous career. So it would be a tough game, as they all are. So. But look, my focus, as always, is preparing my team. But every challenge, every game, come up against good coaches, good players, organised teams, and we have to overcome those challenges. So that's what we have to do again on the weekend.
You're similar in the same respect, and all about putting your best self on display in whatever you do. Yeah,
I think it's. I don't know. I think that's how you should live your life. That's my personal thing. I think rather than concern yourself and worry about everybody else, I think get your own house in order. Do the best you can every single day. Become a good team. Show what you can do as a team. That's what we're trying to remind the players this week. Certainly of how we went. 6 wins on the bounce, and how we got so close to the playoffs, and how we got to the EFL Trophy semi-final, and how we've beaten League One clubs. Listen, we're not all bad. We've had a bad spell. But listen, there's still fight in us, there's still life in us, but we have to show it. You know what I mean? As I always say, and people might get bored of it, but there's some great talkers in the world, but it's about doing. And where we are now, it's about doing. So, but I still believe that this group of players can restore the faith in themselves from the supporters, and the first opportunity to do that is on Friday.
Just finally, Monday, the trip to Grimsby, obviously fighting against relegation themselves. Do you have to change your approach to those kind of games when you're coming up against those teams who are scrapping for every point?
No, because we need to be scrapping for every point. That's it. We have to be scrapping for every point. I don't see a difference when we go into games, top of league, bottom league. The challenge is us. We're not playing at a consistent level to be able to go, right, against these we do this. We have to get our best game going, and consistently well. And every 3 days, as it's been, we haven't managed to do that. So that's enough of a challenge in itself. So that's what we have to try and do, is to get a consistency about our best levels, understand where it comes from, and keep reproducing it. And if we do that, then we can think about maybe teams where they are in the league. But for me, we have to focus on getting our best game.
Best luck for the weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
As a player, you must have gone through phases like this where you're on a losing streak and confidence goes
No,
down.
I won every week for 24 years.
How much can you use that to help the players now with your experience?
Definitely. And, because at the end of the day, my career was the start of my reference point of going into coaching. You haven't got much to fall back on at that point when you actually go from playing to managing. You haven't got a back catalogue of experiences in coaching, so you rely on your playing career. And then as you get through the years of managing, you sort of use that experience more. But I think it's important that you remember how you felt when you were a player. I think you have to have that empathy and understanding of of what they go through, and certainly not look at your own career through rose-tinted glasses and go, well, I never gave the ball away, I didn't make a mistake, what the hell are you doing? I made every mistake that every player's making, I'll tell you that now. Play much worse than probably some of these boys have played in the last couple of games. Yeah, that's how it is, but you still, what you do is when you do finish at the end of it, you don't really remember the mistakes you made, unless they're massive ones. You remember the good times, and that's it. So that's what we try to live off, the good times, but understand, you know what I mean, that in between those successes was a lot of trying, a lot of effort, some failure, but it didn't take you off the path that you were trying to get to. And if you have the discipline and the habits that you have every single day, they keep you on track. If your behaviour and your feelings go off how good your weekend's been, then I'm telling you, you're going to be on a roller coaster mentally. You know what I mean? And that's what we have to try and avoid. So you have to get a consistency of understanding where your success lies, but not forget the challenge that you took on, failed, kept trying, and then got success. That is how it is. And so I do use my experience. I was a League Two player for 7 years in my younger days. So you know, people talk to me about my career playing at this club or at this level. But I did all the, what I would say, well, people called them the hard yards. They weren't hard yards. I loved being a professional footballer. Even I'm showing my age. It weren't League Two then. It was 4th division. But I loved it. I was playing the job. I was playing the sport that I wanted to do every single day of my life. So you know, don't forget that and get mired down on the disappointment, the rejection or whatever it is. You have to understand. You get up the next day and I go, well, I'm still doing the job that I love. I've still got an opportunity to win and feel good about myself, and hopefully I'm still going to see the people that I enjoy being with. But that's for each person. They might not enjoy being with those people every day.
And obviously, over the course of the season, you're going to get injuries, suspensions and things.
Yeah. But
as has happened to Bradford recently, without using it as an excuse, you do get players called up for international duty. How difficult is that for a team like Bradford, where the squad is relatively small and you don't have the resources, say, of a League One club, when you lose players through no fault of your own, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't say we don't have the resources. I think we've got, if everyone's fit, a good competitive size squad. You know, 22 players. So, and like when I first came here, we had 27 players. That was too much. So you could say, we had the resources to injuries, but over the course of seeing 27 players, 20 players, it's not competitive enough. It's not conducive to good training sessions, to a good team spirit. It's too many. So what you want to do is, when you do have a number of 22 players, it's imperative that you've got resilient players, or you've got all the everything right to keep those guys fit. Now, injuries are always going to happen in football. They happen at the best clubs with absolute billions to spend. They still happen. But that doesn't go away from the fact that we have to try and do everything we can to keep these players fit. But you know, it's not about this injury there, or losing a player to international. It's the other players that are in the same positions. Are they available at the time? So we've had 3 centre halves, you know, Matty Platt, Sam Stubbs, Ash Taylor, all injured at the same time, and then JT go away with international. So it's all pretty much. And then we bring Dan back, who hasn't played for 7 months, but he has to go straight into the team. So little bits like that, you know what I mean? But these are things that do happen, and they do go on, and you understand it. And if that was the sole reason why we hadn't picked up these results, it'd be easy for me to say, well, it's because of this. But things we've done in those games have nothing to do with that. You know, they don't have anything to do with him being missing or him being missing. There's basic mistakes that we've been making where it's against how the players have done it in previous. And so we're just trying to remind them, listen, before that, this is what we were doing. And look at the success we had. We just went away from it here. And rather than hide behind these things, and not hide behind them, they are valid reasons, but we still have to be better to overcome these issues. And that's what I want to try and create here. A team that's resilient, that whatever is thrown at us, we can overcome. Because I'm telling you, in 10 months of football, over 50 games, the challenges are going to come in all directions and in all shapes and manners. So if we want to be good over the course of 10 months, we have to be ready for any challenge, and we have to be stronger than anything that's thrown at us. And at the minute, we haven't been. That's we have to be honest about. So that's the challenge for us as a football club.
Cheers.
Okay, mate.
So going back, trying to keep on the level, not too high, not too low with what the ups and downs of a season. But as the last few weeks, as it sort of comes a big shock to you, the way that the team have come away from how they've been playing, for the most part.
The goals against us have come as a. I'm not going to say the word shock, but they are. I'm scratching my head how we were so strong defensively as a structure, and that's what I'm trying to. Because the players that we have available and who are playing now, if I say it's because he's not playing, then how am I making this guy stronger that's got to play again on Friday or play now? Then I'm taking the responsibility off him to be better and putting on this player who's not available. And I don't want to do that. I want every player to go, no, I'm good enough to play in this team and help us win. So that's what I'm trying to avoid talking about what we haven't got and rather what we have. And obviously my responsibility is to be honest, when people ask me about things like injuries and that, we haven't. We can't hide away from that fact, or we've had them. But yeah, I'm trying to find the circumstances why that is the case. So if it's a player that hasn't been playing and then comes in the team, makes a mistake, I can understand that he's not been playing a lot. But there's other things with players that have been playing regularly that are doing, or they have done in the last couple of games. I'm going, well, that's a bit out of the norm. That's not usual for this guy or for that guy, and so I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. But on the other side of it, the attacking aspect, that hasn't massively surprised me. I think we've had fits like we've had the 3 at Accrington, the 4 against MK Dons, but it hasn't been like that all season. It's been 1s and 2s. If at most. So that's something we've been constantly trying to strive to improve, and. But yeah, did I foresee after beating Accrington that we would lose the next 4 games in that fashion? Then 100% no, because I think the players are better than that, without a doubt. The team's better than that, but we are what the results are.
Obviously, Louis mentioned about the protests and the things going on around it. Obviously, Ryan was there on Saturday and he got pelters from the crowd. Have you had a chance to speak to him in the meantime?
Yeah, spoke to him Saturday night. I think. As we do every weekend, we speak after the game, and it's football. You're right in the limelight. You're right there, and if things ain't going right on the pitch, then someone's getting it, and that's not bespoke and unique to Bradford City. that's throughout my 35 years of professional football that someone's getting it. Sometimes it's players, sometimes it's managers, sometimes it's people above, but. What my experience in my 4.5 months is that Ryan has supported me, allowed me to manage, allowed me to pick the team, allowed me to coach, allowed me to make the decision I wanted to make in January. So it's just part of the game, unfortunately, that it happens. And I don't know enough of the last 5 years to have a massive opinion on why. Ryan might get stick or Stefan might get stick or something like that, and I've tried not to delve into 3 years ago, 4 years ago, because it's not my concern. It's not. I can't affect it. I don't think it's going to help my job. So what I've tried to do is, like I said before, is try to create a team that wins, and we're still trying to do that. That relieves the pressure off everybody and actually gets the Bradford fans believing that we can do something good in the long term.
You said Ryan's been very supportive of you. Have you had to be a sort of bit of supportive of him? Because however strong character you might be or thick-skinned, that's going to hurt when you're just hearing people shouting at you.
Oh well, take it from me. I've heard effing, and it does it. But it's you become callous to it if you've got. You have to become. You have to do that. You have to. It's whatever is in life. There's tough times, and you have to go understand it and go, well, that's going to come again if you want to be in professional football, professional sport. I think I said in maybe January where as a manager you have people around you, CEOs, sporting directors, head of medicals and stuff like that, and we all believe that we're the experts in our field, and then we all have to help and support each other in all the other aspects, because to create a winning football team, all those departments, all those things have to come together. So as much as Ryan supported me, I've supported him, at the weekend. But he's a grown man. He's not a baby, so he doesn't need me to rock him in his arms or anything like that. He knows it comes with a terror sheet. But from my perspective, all I see is a guy that works exceptionally hard to try and make Bradford City a better football club. With whatever we're dealt with, that's what we have to do. We have to work with what we've got, and that's what I see in Ryan. But there's not a person on the world that's going to go through, sit there, get a lot of stick, and we all might put on a brave face and deal with it. But we're human beings. We're human beings, and certainly if you care about your job and you're trying hard to be good at it and produce results for people, then criticisms are going to hurt. But I didn't go too deep into it, Ryan. We were talking more about solutions to help the team win, rather than me talking about woe is me and Ryan did that. It wasn't that. It was a conversation about, right, how do we get to where we want to be as a football club? And that's for me is the best way to behave and to actually to understand the challenges that you come away, but think about the future. How can we get it better? Sitting there bitching and moaning about everything and not doing anything about it, what is that? That's not a life. So for me, we had a great chat. He came in yesterday. We had another couple of hours in the office, and it was all about how do we help Bradford City become the team and the club that we all want it to be.
Away from that, obviously the two international players, is Callum Kavanagh back with you now?
Yeah.
And obviously, John Tomkinson played a full game last night.
Yeah.
I mean, when's he due back? Is he?
Well, he'll be flying back, but he'll be back in with us training on Thursday. Cav came back yesterday, so he was back with us training yesterday and today. So he's full of beans, full of energy. Great to get him back.
He didn't play, did he? Unfortunately, so
No.
you're losing a striker where sat on a bench.
Yeah. So but that's it. It's every manager has a squad of players to pick, and he has to pick who he sees fit. But we lost Callum for 2 games for nothing really. But listen, that's how it is. I'd prefer us to have players that represent country. It means that I believe got good players on our books, and we're happy that Callum's getting that sort of representation. But yeah, it was a frustration, certainly from his perspective, that he missed 2 games as well to not play. But listen, I've been there as an international, and you have to make sure you go there, whether you play or not. It's still a great privilege to represent your country.
And on the flip side, obviously, John Tomkinson getting a full game last night, so you're getting a match fit player coming straight back.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think where we are, we need everybody that we have available, and but JT's done a great job for us since we put him in the team. He's been a real positive sort of loan signing for us, without a shadow of a doubt. So, and when I spoke to him when I first came in, he told me how big it was for him to represent his country, because I know the Olympics is coming up, and obviously the 23s will be a part of that. So I knew how important it was for him to be involved in that camp. So fair play to him.
And again, we talk about motivations. Obviously, you say personal pride and playing for yourself, but when he's got a goal like he wants to play in the Olympics at the end of the season, you're going to get a player who's going to turn up every single week. I think.
Yeah, but but this goes back to what I said before about people's level of motivation, and you have to be motivated every single day. So whether even when you're not getting contracts or international recognition or this, that, the other, just getting up every day, having a motivation to be your best self, to be better, surely that'll be enough, I think. So look, I get it. There's always carrots there that you can chase, and you can create them as well. Targets to hit, and I know JT came here with the intention of trying to get his first team career well underway, because I think he's had a loan before. It didn't go great for him, so he's played more games here than he's ever played, and it's been a great learning process for him. But look, it's motivation. I think. Listen, I'm being a bit flippant. I think I was myself. It was good to have things to aim for and all this lot, but there's been times where you can't really see that target, but you still have to motivate yourself, or you still have to have that. And I believe it's in there anyway. I think if you've got through all the challenges you've faced, I think deep down you've got to see the motivation day in, day out. It's just then trying to understand how you can get the best out of it. So, but he has certainly done that in the past 4 months since I've come in.
Well, you've got a good group, Graham. What do you think is just getting a bit confidence in dealing with adversity?
Yeah, I think that was the if I'm looking back over the patterns of the games and the things, I think that's the adversity one is I would say is the challenge for us. I know I spoke a few months ago about the importance of the first goal, and how it seemed to influence how the game went or the result as well, and that's certainly what's hit us hard in the last 3 or 4 games. And when we have conceded, we've had a real great chance to equalise really soon after, not took it, and it sort of double compounds that feeling. But we have to overcome that, because we have to be a team that goes, right, this happens, we still crack on. This happens, we still crack on. Not thinking, hope everything goes great today, because let's be honest, we don't have games of football like that. Someone's going to make a mistake, someone's going to go against you. You have to be good enough to overcome all those things that happen, and but it takes time to create that belief, that mentality. But we're working hard with some really good characters to try and make that happen.
I suppose it's a sense for you as a manager, someone who relishes the fight, and it's something that doesn't kill you, makes you stronger, sort of thing. And these situations is where you've got to really stand up and show what you're about.
Well, is that not everyone's life?
Yeah, well,
it is, isn't it?
I agree with
you. Know what I mean? That's I think it's everyone's. I think it's our parents' lives, our grandparents' lives. They can all sit there and talk to you about their challenge they had from child, all that sort of thing. But they make something of their life. So I don't think it's bespoke to football, but it's certainly relevant. I think the better you are as a human, or the more resilient you are as a human, it certainly makes you a better footballer. And then if you're a better footballer, a more resilient footballer, then you're a better team. And that's what I think. So I do hold great stead in that, because I think it's important for people, and clubs are the people. That's it. So you could have the best institution in the world, but if the people are not strong or not weak or something like that, and that's what the club becomes. So what we have to do is get the right people and create the right people, and I do believe we have the right people in here. We have to add to that and influence the ones we have here to get better, because that underpins this club getting better, and that's what we have to try to do. So when challenges come and defeat come, I don't. Maybe I would in my younger life, thinking that was it, disaster zone and all that lot. But when you get more experience in your belt and you still create success and have success, you think actually I learned a lot in that time. I learned a lot about myself, and I certainly learned a lot about how to win.
Just when you look at body language, even more so than ever with players and everything, I would have thought.
It's one of the things that I said to him half time. I'm just going to look for who's got the head looking that way and who's looking at the feet. It tells you a lot, doesn't it? It tells you it's a window into the mind, and I'm a big believer in trying to do it. And sometimes you don't feel like that. You want to look down, but I'm not this minute going, no, let's crack on. Let's make the best of our lives and our job and our club and our sport, and that's what we're going to try and do. And if we do that, I believe in the long term we'll have the success that we all crave.